All right, Miami and North Carolina, one of the highlight matchups on Saturday. North Carolina, 4-point home favorites, 56 being the total in this game. And, this is definitely one of those deals where it kind of feels like, people saw what happened with Miami last week. Finally looked human, not only failing to cover, but losing outright to Georgia Tech on Saturday night, a Georgia Tech team that had just been beaten as 3.5-point favorites against Bowling Green at home, and they turn around and win outright as 3-touchdown underdogs against Miami. Isn't that college football for you in a nutshell, how crazy it can be? 3-touchdown favorite at home against Bowling Green, lose outright. Turn around, 3-touchdown underdog, you beat Miami outright.
I loved it.
Week. That's crazy. Exactly. And this is not hyperbole. This is not Ian going on a rant just to, overblowing things or over-exaggerating. That was one of the all-time worst coaching decisions I've ever seen. And I have no
Why are you doing it? Why are you it's like the end of time. It's just like take a knee. I've never what is he trying to get his running back? Like pad the stats?
He's got to see his running back. He's got to get a little more snaps and plays from his running back. He's got to evaluate his depth. What the fuck? Or it's absolutely
take the knee.
Yeah,
go home.
And you win.
He deserves it.
Yeah, absolutely awful. And look, this is another one of these coaches, Mario Cristobal, that falls into one of these categories. If he can recruit, he can bring in the talent. He can't coach him. He can't make adjustments. And his game and clock management during games is horrific. And he did this bullshit at Oregon, too, with the failing to take the knee, and it cost him there, too, in a game a couple of years ago. He's just dreadful. Like, if you can't do the job and manage the game properly with common sense, like most people watching that game would have done, let someone else make the decisions. Because clearly you cannot. You do not have the mental capacity, clearly, to make these kind of decisions. I couldn't believe my eyes. And Tim Hasselbeck, credit to him, in the booth for ACC Network, calling him out, ripping him on. He doesn't care.
Good.
We're not here to be, cheerleaders and wave the pom-poms. You fuck up like that, it's the job of the analyst to mention it, point it out, and he did that, and deservedly so. And sure enough, the moment they fumbled, I'm like, right when I was shocked. Everybody was, that he didn't take the knee, because it was less than 40 seconds left in the fourth quarter, which means the play clock means that's the last play. All you got to do is take a knee. You don't have to run another play as long as that game clock is below 40 seconds, which it was on that handoff play. Sure enough, fumble. No, and of course, Georgia Tech had no timeouts either. Fumble, they get the ball back. And just a minute or so after it happened, I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if they go down the field and they win this game and score a touchdown? And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. And he deserved to have it happen to him as well, to make that kind of all-time bonehead decision, an all-time mistake like that. It's not hyperbole. It's one of the all-time worst coaching decisions you will see. Yeah. Period. Full stop. End of story. And how does Miami now bounce back from that here against North Carolina? It kind of feels like, though, one of these games where now everyone's totally abandoned ship on Miami, going to want to lay the points here with North Carolina. North Carolina off a huge beatdown win over Syracuse, and Miami off this stunner of a loss as almost 3-touchdown favorites against Georgia Tech. This is probably a nice little buy low spot on Miami if you want to trust them here. Do you want to trust Tyler Van Dyke, who, look, it's been great. The offense was great all season until that game against Georgia Tech, where they couldn't really move the ball. They really couldn't get anything going on offense consistently in that game. I don't know what I'm going to do yet with this game. What I do know is it kind of feels like this is buy low on Miami. Do I want to take them against this North Carolina offense right now? I'm not so sure. It does feel like kind of what we saw with Georgia Tech, right? Georgia Tech, nobody wanted to bet Georgia Tech last week against Miami after they lost to Bowling Green. And sure enough, they won outright as a 3-touchdown dog. Now nobody's going to want Miami because they shit the bed against that Georgia Tech team. And everybody just saw North Carolina destroy Syracuse, and they've looked really good here these last couple weeks. So I don't know. It feels like buy low to Miami, but I don't know if I could stomach betting a team coached by Mario Cristobal right now. What do you think here, C-Mac? It's a pretty interesting game on Saturday with these two.
Yeah, I don't know if I get involved in this game. North Carolina's won the last 4. Some of them got over this total or just below, because you think there could be some points. I'm going to wait here. There's some weather in this game, another one. Check the weather here for Saturday. And out of those 4 wins, 3 of the 4 were by 3 points. So we got a line here, 4, 3.5. So right now, I'm off. I like the way UNC's played. I talked about it the last few weeks. Their defense came again. I thought their defenses looked pretty good. And I don't know when that's going to catch up. I can't believe I've been saying it. I don't know. Probably a ton of people had the under in that game, but I thought they looked all right. But it does seem like maybe a buy low spot with Miami. I still think they're a good football team. Just why are you running the ball with 38 seconds? They have no timeouts.
Take
You
the
have a
knee.
3-point lead. Take the knee and go home and win. They deserve, the loss. And that was great. It just seems more of these teams, they start out like this and just deserve it that they lost.
Yeah.
You know, they start out 5-0. Everyone's like, Miami, the U's back.
Yeah.
See ya. I'm glad. I had Georgia Tech. I had some money line. I loved it. I loved it.
Wow. And plus 700 is what we were looking at there with the money line on Georgia Tech in that game. I'm convinced of it that, it was starting to look good for a little bit there, but sure enough, Mario Cristobal strikes. It really makes it hard to believe they're going to win anything big with this guy as the coach. Seriously, when you see something like that. And you're right. North Carolina has, owned Miami. They've won 4 straight. But the problem is the last 2 meetings and 3 of the 4 that they've won were 3-point victories. That's not going to get it done. North Carolina's laying 4 here. So that's the one tricky part here. They were all 3-point wins, 3 of the 4 for North Carolina. I think the over, if the weather, this weather forecast as of right now isn't as bad. Slight rain showers, and the wind is not going to be nearly as bad as some other places. If the weather's halfway decent, I could see this going over the total here because I think Miami's offense will play better against North Carolina. And North Carolina should be able to score some points here. They've scored points on anybody so far this year. Look at these numbers, 31-40, 31, 41-40. I mean, it's just been a juggernaut. And now they got Tez Walker back on offense, the best wide receiver by far, and he never should have been suspended as long as he was by the NCAA. And finally, Wright was done and reinstating him, and he played his first game last week against Syracuse. So another weapon. Tez Walker now finally available here for this already prolific North Carolina offense.